Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to tell you something about a book I read over the past week that was sent to me by Faber Faber. I really enjoyed it very much. It is The Blinds by Adam Sternberg. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but this book comes out today, so if you like what you hear, be sure to check it out for yourself as well. I'm just going to briefly tell you a little bit about what the book is about, and then I'm going to go into my impressions of it and why I enjoyed it the way that I did. The Blinds is a nickname for this place that the government or a organization has decided to put criminals in instead of putting them in a witness protection program. Their memories get erased from their criminal experiences, so they don't actually know what they did in the past to make them bad. And this has been thought of as a way to give people another way of living through their jail sentence rather than actually being in jail. Another option that we are presented for the inhabitants of the Blinds is that they could have been a significant witness in a crime or in some kind of bad situation, and so their memories could also have been erased in order to protect them. The inhabitants don't know whether they perpetrated a crime or simply witnessed one. They only know that they are now a resident of the Blinds. The only thing they do know is that at some point they didn't have another option but to choose to go into this program, and they are free to leave, but generally free to leave means you will end up dead. So that's not really an option either, and instead people have to sit out their sentence there. We follow Sheriff Calvin Cooper, who has been keeping the peace there for 8 years, but now finds himself with a suicide and a murder, and the town is just lost. And so the thriller begins. We follow a lot of the other characters as well as we go throughout the story, and we have some newcomers that kind of disrupt the peace that was the peace that they had there for a while. We also find out Calvin Cooper has his own secrets to protect, which his deputy is trying to reveal or figure out. And so we follow these characters in the Blinds as more and more secrets come out and newcomers come in to disrupt everything. We, along with the characters, aren't sure what's happening or where the book is going to go, and that is what made it really interesting to me as well. My initial response to this book was very interesting because I haven't read many thrillers before. I have, of course, read dystopian fiction, which I also think this could be placed in as well, because it does follow a kind of possibly futuristic style narrative, which makes it really interesting for people that liked young adult or just simply like thrillers or something in between. So what made it really interesting also is that the genre is really welcoming in a way. It's more a mystery that's trying to be solved in a possibly realistic world, and that really invites the reader to think about our own systems that we have in place in society, as well as what would happen if this were actually a real program. The cover is very beautiful in my opinion. I mean, the cover is just beautiful. Like, I really love the colors. The characters in the book get these really interesting names, which they have to pick from a list when they arrive in the town. They have a list of vice presidents of the United States, and they have a list of celebrities from a certain decade, I think. They have to pick a name from both lists to make their new name, and I'm not sure whether this had any added value to people who actually knew these people that they picked the names from, if that said anything about the characters themselves. I personally don't know the names that they chose, but I do think that wasn't necessarily something that will really enhance your reading experience, because even one of the characters says like, why vice presidents, because like those names are super forgettable. Just a side note that I don't think really influences the reading process, but I did think about this while I was reading it, if I was missing some kind of clue or whatever. What I also really enjoyed is that there are these different perspectives that we get to see the story from, and as such we figure out more of the story than certain characters do. So we see more different angles, and we see someone knowing something about someone else, but they don't know yet that this person has revealed this or discovered this, and so we kind of you get this sense of, oh, please figure it out now because I don't want you to get hurt. And what I also really liked is that the stories reminded me a lot of Prison Break. In a lot of shows and books you have that criminals are the bad guys and we don't root for them, and we don't, you know, that we root for the good guys. And in this sense, it shows again that it's possible for people not to just be bad or just be good, and we actually are rooting for these criminals that, I mean, they don't know what they did, so we don't either. And it kind of humanizes this, well, it's not a jail, but this jail experience in a way. It also reminded me kind of an adult version of the Maze Runner or Divergent, which is interesting because it's kind of, people are in this gated community and they're trying to make their own life, but also trying to get out, and other people are trying to get in. So if anyone watching this was really interested in those series, they might also, if they want to now endeavor into this more adult genre, I would definitely also recommend this to begin with. There's an interesting use of repetition in the writing style that at first I had to get used to a little bit, but I really did at one point think it enhanced the story. And lastly, what I thought was really great is that even though it's not a super long book, it's about 380 pages, and there's a lot of different characters, you still are brought into this story and into this world, and you really do start to care about the characters. And the ending took a turn and surprised me a lot, and I did not see it coming. And it was just very, very intriguing because I really started to care about these characters and wanted them to do well. I think the author did really well in bringing that to the story as well. So like I said, the book comes out today. Be sure to check it out if you are interested. I would definitely recommend reading this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads, and I look forward to reading more of this kind of genre, perhaps. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments below, and I hope to see you again soon. Doei!